Here is how to get referrals as an online coach.
I thought it wasn't even possible.
It's barely possible. It's not something to build your business on.
That's it. That's the critical thing. I think people think that they will be able to get referrals and word of mouth because a lot of, basically, if you're good at what you do, if you work in a gym and you are good at what you do and you get people results, chances are you started out with a handful of clients that you got from walking the gym floor, and then they referred a friend, and then people start talking about you and like in their group of friends, and suddenly you've got like more inquiries than you can work with, and you think like, oh, that was good. I've just got to be good at what I'm doing. So when I start online coaching, I'll do a post on social media. I think people always overweight how much of an effect that has. So like, I'm going to do a big announcement post on my social media that I'm starting an online program. That'll bring in my first 3, 4, 5 clients, and then I'll just grow it in the same way. I'll just be really good at what I do, and I'll just grow it in the same way. And I think that creates this like mismatch in expectations, frustration that you can't just use word of mouth and referrals as an online coach.
So, what are some ways that you can work around this? Like, if we assume that it's not going to be the bulk of stuff coming in, at least in the early phase of moving online, how can you at least maximize your chances of that while you're focusing on some proper lead generation strategies?
Well, I think the first thing is having proper lead generation strategies, having a proper sales system. Because if you're about to say something.
I don't know if you heard the upstairs neighbors just going like, yeah, yeah.
No, I didn't. But because your mouth moved slightly as the noise was there, had I heard it, I would have assumed it was you, just trying to throw me off. Ask me a question and then go, like Rob Brydon's Man in the Box. Yeah, so the critical thing with all of this is you need a consistent flow of new people into your business that you have control over. So control over lead generation, control over a percentage of those people becoming clients. But once you have people signing up as clients, there's a way to basically not quite double, but kind of 1.5 times the number of clients you get across a year. And there's 3 things, I suppose they're almost mistakes that people make, but there's 3 things to do to maximize the chances of that. The first one is, I'll let you do the first one, Yusuf. Pricing.
Okay, we've given up the ghost now because I was like, how do we do it? And actually, I happen to know.
Yeah, you knew all along, didn't you?
It's all for the sake of the theatre of the podcast. So yeah, as Johnny says, like the purpose of the delivery and the quality in your service is that it serves as a general amplifier to people referring people on. So if they have a good time working with you, that's going to generally improve people referring their friends. And I saw Hormozy posted about this yesterday saying, you're better off spending 2 years building an amazing product, then your audience does your marketing for you, than spending 2 months building a shit product and like you then having to spend the next 2 years trying to push it to more people. So he's taken a bit of an extreme with the time course there, but the idea is that your product should be the marketing as well, and that's what's going to amplify everything and make your business a lot smoother. But for people who don't know you, if they're talking about your service and your price is either really smoke and mirrors or it's unreasonably high from hearing someone's experience about it, it's instantly going to put them off. It's very hard to try and sell someone onto something with a price that they've never paid before for a service like that, or for a price that's very difficult to describe. So we're always a fan of simple, transparent pricing. If, let's say, your coaching is £150 a month or £200 a month, and there's no minimum period, and you have a great time and you tell your friend, hey, I've just signed up with this coach and it's been brilliant. I've been the most consistent I ever have with my diet, with my training. I'm already starting to see results. I'm feeling more energetic. Oh, cool. How much is it? It's £5,000. What? You paid £5,000 for, compared to, oh, it's £200 a month and you can cancel at any time. Brilliant. Like then your maximum downside to giving it a try is 200 quid. And if by the end of that month it wasn't worth it, no harm done. And you should be confident enough in the service that you give that in 1 month of someone staying with you, they're like, actually, I quite liked this. This was a good experience. I'm going to stay for longer. If they don't, if you're getting everyone cancel after month 1, you probably need to look at your delivery systems and the quality of your coaching rather than your marketing.
Yeah, we talk about pricing a lot, but it's if somebody is not in a place where they're thinking about signing up with an online coach and their friend is trying to convince them, they will have, just like anything, they will have a rough ballpark expectation of kind of what that thing will cost. And if it's 10 times the price they have in their mind, what the friend is having to do is overcome such skepticism and doubt and no, I don't want to do that. And like they almost have to push them into thinking this is worth it. It's just a very hard thing to do. So generally, if you've got this kind of as Yusuf says, there's like transparent pricing where they can just tell their friends what they're paying, and it's easy for them to join. And there's also then a community aspect to it, which links in with the pricing, right? So rather than going after 5 clients a month paying $3,000, go after multiple clients in a community, and you coach the expensive clients one-to-one. Go after multiple clients in a community, holding each other accountable. You're the kind of coach leading the group. Everyone's paying a lower amount per month, and you're going after long-term retention, lifetime value. People join and they're like, oh, I'm in this group of people and everyone's holding each other accountable and we're all getting results together. And it's kind of this, like, we've had people in our group coaching meet up with each other without us there, train with each other without us there, and become friends as a result of that. You don't get that if it's just you WhatsApping loads of people one-to-one. Get the price right. Such an important thing. And pricing tends to link in with use a group coaching method. And part of the benefit, the side benefit of that is you can have a community aspect to it, which really drives the stick rate, the retention as well.
So I wonder if there's perhaps a second way to generate more referrals.
Tell you what, I think there might be a second way, actually. Another thing is, again, imagine one of your clients is out for dinner, they've lost loads of weight, and their friend goes, wow, you've lost loads of weight. How have you done that? I'm signing up with this coach. It's £150 a month. That's pretty good. How do I find out more about it? If it's then send them the word coach via a DM, or if it's like book a call with them, it's a little bit of a I'm not sure I really want to do that. I've still got some questions. I don't really want to book a call with a stranger, all that sort of stuff. But if your sales mechanism is attractive by itself, valuable by itself, like, for example, I don't know, just first thing that comes to mind, a 14-day challenge or a 14-day kind of trial experience, it means that the pressure is off the friend to do the selling for you. So if that person might be totally outside the fitness industry, have no idea what the value of any of this is, no idea why they should sign up for an online coach, why is that different to a personal trainer? What are they going to send me? What do I get? Is that going to even help? I've hurt my knee. Will it still work? I haven't got any equipment. I've got a gym membership. All these things, right? You either let your friend kind of have a crack at that with no training, or you have a system that you know works, that does all of the selling and does all of that for them. And all they have to do is say, here's their Instagram, go to the link in their bio, or here's their website, go to the main link on the homepage. Just go through that. It'll give you all the answers you need.
Yeah, well, your Instagram tweet thread today was talking about this, which is that when someone starts to sign up with you or considering signing up with you, they've probably got about 7 or 8 questions of like, oh, well, I've tried this kind of thing before, or how do I know this is going to work for me? And do I have to cut out carbs? And I cut to my arm, I hurt to my knee. How do I work around this? And all that stuff. But if your sales mechanism is standardized and handles those questions already, hey, welcome to day 3. If you cut to your arm and hurt to your knee, don't worry. I sort you out, brother. Then
It's a good price.
it'll get you a good price. My uncle, he fixed your knee. Then you've got all that stuff automated and handled. And so you never have to worry about people trying to do the selling for you. Now, we could go on about this automated selling system forever because it's the real workhorse of the sales mechanism, the lead generation mechanism that we recommend and that we help people build in Propin Business, our program. So you can see the full outline of how that's run in the video in the description. But it's very powerful. It is the kind of single point of entry that anyone who joins you or finds out about you or clicks on your profile can go through, and it takes them from freezing cold lead to hot and ready to buy. And if they don't buy, they're in your system, they're in your nurture sequence, and they'll buy in 3 months' time or 6 months' time. So I just can't overstate the importance of just having that in place. It'll save you a hell of a lot of time.
There's an analogy that you used in a module we made recently, which is bags of popcorn. So like our system is you throw massive bag of popcorn in the microwave, turn the microwave on, get on with the rest of your day. And they'll all pop eventually. Like some will pop straight away and you'll be like, ooh, that was faster than I was expecting. Some might take, I don't know, what's a reasonable amount of time? Minutes and minutes and minutes of time to pop. And you think like, God, this is ridiculous. And then maybe the final one pops and you're like, I can't believe that one popped. I didn't think it was going to. The kind of the one-to-one sales call DMing equivalent is like taking one popcorn
And like lighting a match under it and trying to heat it up.
or just doing anything by any means necessary to get that one bit of popcorn to pop. And if it doesn't, you're devastated and you feel deceived and you're like, it told me it was going to pop. And then it said it had to go speak to its partner and told me it was going to get a credit card. This is bullshit.
Exactly.
The point is, it will just take as long as it takes, but you need the process. You need the system in place. If you just referred me to a coach, I don't know much about it. I've never done any of this before. I don't know how it's going to work. I want my questions answered. I'm keen to sign up, but I want my questions answered. Where do I go to get that information to be able to make the decisions? If it's just scroll through their Instagram or have a look on their website, or here's their About Me page, it's not going to answer the stuff that I care about. Like, I've cut my arm, I've hurt my knee. Will this still work for me?
This is also the problem with just sending someone to your Instagram. Because, yeah, you might have, the last 10 posts that you posted is kind of a roll of the dice. Like maybe one of those reels that you posted was relevant to them, but the nature of a feed is that it's constantly updating and it's kind of random stuff each time. So even if it converts a sale, best case scenario, how do you replicate that? Because then the next person that joins might be in 2 weeks' time. That post that caused them to buy is bumped down the feed and it no longer makes the sale. So how do you know if Instagram is the thing which is helping convert the sales? So instead, standardized, each time it works, you optimize it, you make it better and better until you've got the best version of the process.
I think the real thing that's lost with something like look through someone's Instagram is the weight a bit of content or an explanation has is really determined by the sequence it's in. So you might make a point in your latest post or your latest reel that's really effective for all of the people who understand all the other stuff they need to understand for that to be relevant. But if that's the first thing I see from you, it's either going to be too basic because you posted something like that yesterday, or far too complicated. And I'm like, what's this? I'm going to go listen to Joe Wicks.
Yeah, it's got to be matched to the person's level of awareness. And generally, you want to be, the whole value statement is that I help A to achieve B via C without D. So I help people with this problem to achieve this goal, this solution via this method without these obstacles. And for cold traffic, you want to be focusing more on the problem. And for warmer traffic, you're focusing on the solution. That's because people who are cold, they might not be as aware and they don't know what problem they're actually solving. So you have to get them up to that point first. And so if you have a standardized sequence, it gets them problem aware, highlights, okay, this is where you're at right now. And these are the consequences if you don't address this problem. Then here's the solution. And I happen to be someone who can help you to get to this solution. And hopefully by this point, I've built up your trust and we can move forward and you can work with me. And if not, join my email list and sign up later. So that's how the whole thing works. Number 3, a way to generate referral sales is incentivize your clients to do it. So this is just because sometimes it just doesn't feature. Someone might be having an amazing, you might have joined a HelloFresh recently and love it, but you just didn't occur to you to recommend your friends until you get a little leaflet that says, oh, hey, your next order, £20 off if you refer a friend. And you're like, oh, actually, yeah, like I do really like HelloFresh. And then you're incentivized, everything's aligned, it's good for you, it's good for them. So having a referral system can work really well. You don't have to give people cash as a referral. You can do, works very well. Everyone loves cash, but you can also give people a discount on their next service. You can incentivize both parties involved. And I think the most powerful affiliate programs are where you give someone a discount code, you get a kickback, and they get money off because then everyone benefits. And as long as there's enough margin in your business to do that, fine. And actually, with online coaching, there will be because they're referring a friend. So there's no cost of acquisition of that client to you. So it's like you can afford to give away 20, 30, 40% of the first month of that coaching and split it between both parties.
Yeah. Your point there of make sure you give the person who is signing up some sort of benefit. Because if it's just they pay full price, but you get a bonus, like it's why would I do that? Like, why would I go through that person's link? We have this with a couple of things, don't we? Like a couple of bits of software that wanted us to join their referral scheme. And I think we get a commission for referring it, but people don't get anything as a result of using our link. Like, why? They just go to the website and sign up.
Yeah, there are some, and sometimes they're like, oh, only on like Easter discount or Black Friday or whatever. But yeah, with software, like you're welcome to use our affiliate links if you want to. You don't have to, like it's kind of pennies at the end of the day. But the other thing, and this is more if you are affiliating with other products, is you've got to maintain your credibility and only recommend stuff that you personally endorse and use.
Yeah.
Don't do the classic mistake. I think we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago of like you create a YouTube channel, you get 1,000 subscribers, and then Manscaped gets in touch with you and goes, hey, we'll pay you £200 if you promote our product. And you don't really believe in the product, but you go, oh, well, 200 quid, like I don't want to. But then you've instantly lost credibility and your viewers can sense that. So only promote what you personally use. Great rule to live by.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so just asking people, firstly, like, would you like to bring a friend with you? Or, is there anyone else who you think would add to the community? Again, another reason for using a group model, because you aren't just saying to that person, hey, sign up with this, and you get to DM this person privately. It's like, hey, sign up to this. We'll be in the group together. We'll be doing a similar program together. It'll be like the adapted version. We go train together at the gym. We'll keep each other accountable. So it's easy for them to refer people into that. Give them t-shirts, give them something that's like an exclusive, like club-like feel, like, oh, I referred a friend, that means I get this that other people don't have. So it kind of entices everybody else to refer friends. There's lots of ways you can do it, but just think about, stuff you see online where there's people, think about stuff you've referred your friends to. Like, what had to happen for you to cross that boundary? How good did the service have to be? What were the incentive structures in place? If you have referred HelloFresh or Gusto or something like that to your friends, it's actually a great example. Why did you do that? And it is probably because you had it for a couple of months, you really enjoyed it, and in the third box you got, there was a little voucher on the top of it that said, hey, refer a friend, give your friends this code, and you get this much off, and they get something for free. So it makes it really simple.
Something to add to that. So referring a friend is the one-to-one option. There's also the one-to-many option of testimonial. Now, we talked about testimonials last week on the podcast, but if you want to generate them without any effort, just put it into your email automations. When someone signs up, whenever they have a win or whatever, you can include it in your email sequence and give some kind of reward or benefit to them leaving a testimonial for you, text or video. Save them into a folder, collect them. They're like gold dust. App developers and software services are great at this. So they'll often have built into their systems, leave us a Trustpilot review and receive this or get a free month or whatever. I think it's against Amazon terms, but you still get dodgy Chinese products that'll put in like a little card that says like, oh, leave us a review and we'll send you this, like sort of backhand deal.
Oh, really? I've not experienced any of that. I've never actually thought about that before, that there's no incentive to review things with Amazon products.
I don't know if it's allowed or not, but
All right.
it feels very naughty when they do it. But that's because Amazon reviews are a very gameable thing because of the ranking system.
Yeah. Well, reviews in general. Like, I ignore 1-star and 5-star. Pay attention mainly to 3 and 4-star reviews.
1-star, delivery driver was rude, or like ordered and it didn't arrive. Like, okay.
For example. Find that hard to believe.
So, well, we can talk about reviews next week, actually, because we've had a couple of people ask recently, should I set up a Trustpilot as an online coach? And I think there's a lot of pros and cons to that, which we can always...
Another thing that I think we should talk about as well for maybe a later episode, I wrote an email on this the other day. Somebody sent us an email saying like something along the lines of like, which I thought was it's an interesting like view on just how anything works, like how mentoring, information, coaching, achieving any kind of result works.
I think the same person or someone else said, like, why don't you just do a VC model where we coach people to build the model that we're teaching and then we take a percentage of their profits for lifetime?
That one's incredibly common, that question.
Yeah. And actually, like, that's a business model that can work very well, but it's immensely complicated to actually operate.
It's like venture capital but for free, isn't it?
Shopify have a model like that now. So they get micro influencers to give people a code for a free Shopify account and they're training for it. And the goal is that if they can get them profitable with Shopify, then they'll stay with them and pay the subscription. So it kind of works as well. But that's if you're like, you've got a software platform that's very well validated.
Yeah. And there's no marginal cost to delivering the service. I think the way I view it, we'll talk about this another time, but the way I view it is you have to kind of offer a guarantee somewhere. So you have to de-risk it in some way for people. So you can de-risk it from like you get the result no matter what you do, and if you don't, we'll refund you. Or you don't have to do anything. We'll work with you for free and we'll just take a percentage of everything once it goes well. And the way that we do it instead is kind of a third way, which is like, look, realistically, we know the reason that if you don't succeed, we know the reason will be because you don't put the time in, more than likely. And so we'll flip it and say, we'll work with you for as long as you takes. Like, we know the system will work as long as you put the time in. You are the variable. Like, you are the risk. As far as we're concerned, like, the risk is that you work with us for free. We put loads of time into you, give you access to everything, and you just don't do anything. But we get paid nothing unless you make revenue. But realistically, more than likely, the reason you won't make revenue is you just log in once and then never log in again because it was free. Why would you push to get help?
That's a good point. Like, we'd love to be able to do something like that, but the reality is we put a lot of time into making sure that the people we work with do well, and we offer a lot of support and a lot of our hours. So there is a marginal cost associated with what we do. Propane Business is not just a sort of self-paced course that you go through on your own. It's a lot of us helping you to troubleshoot and design and build and give you some feedback and all that kind of stuff too. So that's the route that we chose to go down.
I just think so. The people who ask that question typically have like a certain attitude associated with it, like this kind of like accusatory like line of questioning, like how dare you charge for something, which, you know, they're entitled to their opinion. But I just think if you aren't willing to invest in something to begin with, like if you aren't willing to take any risk, why should we take risk on you? It's like when people go to Dragon's Den with it and they say, well, how much money have you put in yourself? They're like, oh, nothing. Interesting. So you want me to invest in your business, but you're not willing to invest in it. Like you want us to work with you for free and us to put our time and resources and money into something, but you aren't willing to invest in the project yourself.
We have put all of our skin in the game with this. Like we've dedicated our full time to this at this point, and we've demonstrated the model in our fitness business as well. So
yeah,
at least meet us halfway. You have made it to the end of this video, so I have a special gift for you. I need you to follow this very specific set of steps. So step 1, click the subscribe button below. Step 2, go to the description of this video and follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. I guarantee we will level up the quality of your Instagram feed, your Twitter feed, and therefore the quality of your thoughts and your bank account. Step 3, click the link below that and join the Propane Inner Circle. You get free access to our 7 days to 1K as an online coach program, as well as the online coaching blueprint. And then if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to speak to us directly to work with us, then click the link below that and you can book in a time slot to have a chat with one of the team. Speak soon.